Welcome, everybody. I'm Edward Byrne, the relatively new and fourth president of KAUST, and it's a huge privilege to be here with you today. I'd particularly like to thank His Excellency Abdulaziz Al Malik for the invitation to speak. It's absolutely imperative that we share responsibility for shaping sustainable futures. When it comes to addressing sustainability challenges, collaboration is the key, and it's the main theme of what I want to speak to you about today. I authored a book just a couple of years ago with Charles Clarke, who was a senior cabinet minister in the UK government, on changing roles of universities. We called it the University Challenge, changing universities in a changing world. And the key theme was that universities not only need to do what they already do better, they need to do new things. And there's no area in which that is more important than the area of sustainability in addressing the needs of the planet going ahead. COP16 in Riyadh is a great example of an opportunity to unite leaders from governments, the private sector, across civil society, and of course global stakeholders to accelerate progress in sustainable land management. It is a critical discussion to slow and reverse land degradation. Collaboration across the board is the only way to support the changes we have to make in the loss of fertile land globally while achieving sustainable food production to meet the needs of our massive world populations. Why is shaping sustainable futures so important, and why does it require collaboration? Well, it's obvious, its importance is obvious, but the reason it requires collaboration is because terrestrial ecosystems, as we all know only too well, are complex and fragile. Their preservation requires the combined expertise, resource and contribution from universities, from my sector, from governments and the private sector, embracing interdisciplinary collaboration among these entities, not just interdisciplinary collaboration in universities, interdisciplinarity in the broadest sense. Let's talk a little about the complexity of environmental challenges. Protecting desert ecosystems involves addressing multifaceted issues such as climate change, water scarcity, land degradation, and biodiversity loss. Universities contribute cutting-edge research and innovative solutions. Governments provide regulatory frameworks and funding, and the private sector offers technology, capital, and probably most of all, the ability to scale things up in the way we need to. Policy must, of course, be informed by science. Governments need evidence-based policies to effectively protect ecosystems. Universities provide the scientific insights and data necessary for creating such policies. For example, research on sustainable agricultural practices in deserts can inform government incentives for their adoption. Innovation often requires shared resources. Private sector investment in renewable energy, water-saving technologies, or desert reclamation projects can be guided by university research and supported by government subsidies or policies. Again, the collaboration across sectors. Education and capacity building needs balanced perspectives. Universities train the next generation of environmental scientists, engineers, and policymakers. Their contribution, of course, is essential. Global and regional coordination is necessary because of the scale of the problem. Terrestrial ecosystems often span national borders, requiring regional collaboration. Partnerships among local governments, multinational corporations and academic networks are critical in addressing transboundary issues like desertification and water resource management. Let me talk a little bit about my new university, KAUST, and its incredibly productive relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. KAUST was built on a mission of translating research and innovation, the technology aspect of its name. to the welfare and benefit of society, hence its dual mission of research and impact. And our task over the next little while is to continue to steadily increase the impact to ever greater levels. There is a very close alignment, indeed complete synchrony, with Vision 2030 for fostering economic and social prosperity for the Kingdom, of course with initiatives that are translatable to MENA and globally. KAUST was designed to collaborate and complement both the government and private industry sectors in developing innovative solutions, and that is at the core of the university's mission, a key reason why King Abdullah established it. Let me just say a little bit about individuals making an impact. Like most universities, a key impact is from our students, from our graduates. Our students come to us from leading universities around the world. We defy global STEM norms in our unusually high percentage of female students. Our impact metrics shown on this slide are world-leading. Achievements in research impact, innovation, and contributions to knowledge-based economy building are what we're all about. We have the highest citation rate per faculty member of any university, made a little easier perhaps by the small size of our faculty, but it is truly outstanding and amazing that a faculty of this level has been created in just 15 years. Centres of excellence are crucial to the journey. When I talk about universities stepping up a gear, this is a crucial part of KAUST's strategy and how we are impacted. It will impact in an ever greater way on the Kingdom. The concept of transdisciplinary centres of excellence in key pillars aligned to the RDI priorities of the Kingdom are aimed at attacking complex multidisciplinary questions: sustainability, climate, biodiversity on land and ocean. Note the alignment of our centres of excellence on the priority pillars of the Kingdom RDI strategy, and much of our research effort is now aligned directly around these pillars. I'm just going to say a little word about the 4 centres of excellence, not a great deal. The first I want to mention is the Centre of Excellence for Renewable Energy and Storage Technologies, with many partners. I'll come to that in a later slide. This is having a huge role both in generation of clean energy and massively improved battery technologies, which are going to be so crucial to achievable solutions in the renewable energy and storage area. We host Shaheen 3, the major supercomputer in the Middle East. And around this, we have our Centre of Excellence for Generative AI, which is playing a key role across the Kingdom and the region in supporting the economies of the future and all of the ways in which the information revolution is becoming so pertinent. And some of these I've set out on this slide. I won't go through them individually. The next pillar, very close to my heart with my biomedical background, is the Centre for Excellence in Smart Health, looking at personalised medicine, the new genetics, and of course the wave of change sweeping the health world through massive research advances of the last 20 years finally reaching the clinic is just absolutely enormous, and we're at a time of unbelievable transformation in health. Very relevant to today's topic, and I note that the coordinator of this centre, Mark Tester, has received an award this morning, is our Centre for Sustainable Food Security, dealing with genetically modified crops that flourish in desert environments, with more salt-resistant crops, working on a whole raft of measures to help the Kingdom get to 50% food sustainability by 2040. Now, as I said at the beginning of this talk, partnership is everything, and there's no area where it's more important than in Saudi Arabia. Under Vision 2030, the Kingdom is moving forward at massive pace in so many areas, and it requires the resources, both intellectual and material, of the kingdom to align for things to get to where they undoubtedly will get to over the next 5 years or a little more. Some of our partnerships are set out on this slide. On the left are the RDI priorities. On the top of the slide, key topics. And underneath we list the many ministries and large commercial entities that KAUST is working with in real-life mission-based projects as we speak. I particularly want to mention that our number one partner across the board is MIWA. We have close to 30 major projects with MIWA, many of them of massive impact already happening as we speak. Just to say a little bit more about partnering for sustainability. Clearly, proof of principle comes out of scientific advances in universities, and we do that in-house. But scaling up requires broad partnerships, especially with industry and with other government agencies. And at KAUST, as with other leading science and technology universities, we're not doing most of our work as a theoretical experiment. We do some of that, but most of it has been done because of practical applications that will only work when they're scaled up and out there broadly in the real world. So here I mention just a number of our very major projects. Cryogenic carbon capture with plants now working, prototype plants for cryostatic carbon capture, cryogenic carbon capture at 2 power stations in Saudi Arabia, ammonia cracking technology, which is well advanced, and the fantastic partnership with Kodak around saving the coral reefs, and I'll come to that in the next slide. But just before I get to that, I just want to list here some of the really exciting partnerships that KAUST has with MIWA. The Climate Change Centre, developing science-based climate information nationally and regionally. It's fantastic to see that linked into the supercomputer and the speed with which analytic data can be provided. The Centre for Algal Biotechnology and Aquaculture, already mentioned, I think, in this conference. The key to developing new protein sources for food security. It creates jobs and delivers economic development opportunities. The Saudi Agri-Food Tech Alliance has been launched. The International Water Research Centre has already been launched today. Partnerships in education and capacity building are also crucial. At KAUST, we reach out into the education systems of the kingdom through a summer program and have a number of courses aimed at educating young leaders in sustainability as part of our empowerment process. We're also going to be, in the next little while, greatly strengthening our education and research links with other key university entities in the kingdom. Advancing environmental conservation, of course, is crucial. Advancing environmental conservation in this area, KAUST is a knowledge partner of the WAVE initiative, led by Her Royal Highness Princess Rima bint Bandar Al Saud, and partnerships for ocean and marine and ecosystem conservation. We synergize multiple initiatives such as WAVE, Kodak, the Red Sea Centre, Shusha Island Project and more to yield more consistent and higher returns. In this process, we curate digital data on the Red Sea and make these available for WAVE partnerships, another example of an outstanding partnership. Of course, in collaboration with government and key entities of civil society is absolutely crucial. We have a role in fostering dialogue and solutions through many workshops and reports. I won't say more about these, but they're readily available. I touched earlier on the Coral Restoration Initiative collaboration in collaboration with the mega project NEOM. This is an amazing project, which is the leading project in the world in coral restoration, emphasizing both innovation and environmental sustainability. We are developing plans for 100 hectares of impact coral reefscape restoration in the Red Sea, having tested and scientifically defined the most resistant coral, the most heat-resistant coral, among other things, going ahead, that should flourish in slightly more adverse climatic conditions. This is the world's already sustainable coral restoration project by a long way. As I'm about to show you on the next slide, the coral nursery that's been developed for the coral fragments that will be implanted on the reef is absolutely massive. It's the world's first repository for the many unique Red Sea coral species and will have major commercial applications. This shows the coral nursery. I won't let the whole video run, but it just shows the massive scale that some of these projects are running at here in the Kingdom. This is one that KAUST is particularly proud of and would not be happening but for the massive partnerships I've referred to already. So in closing, again, I'm going to return to this theme that I started with. To get where we need to get to, all involved need to do even better than we've done in the past. As I've said in my university statement, because this applies outside the university world also, we not only need to do the same things we've been doing better, we need to do new things. We need to be open to change, not only in our scientific orientation for those of us who are scientists and technologists, but in our willingness to open and embrace partnerships of a range and capacity that we haven't had before. There's a well-known quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I wanted to close with this African proverb because it encapsulates the necessity for collaboration for long-term environmental goals. Of course, what it means is obvious, but just to reiterate the obvious, go fast, go alone. A single entity, whether university, government, private company, might act quickly in implementing specific initiatives. However, these efforts often lack the scale, inclusiveness and longevity required for systemic change, and more importantly, they leave opportunities on the table. In my area, the sequencing of the human genome required a massive translational cross-national effort. We would never have put humanity on the moon in 1969 without a massive contribution from multiple different fields. Well, the issues we face now are even more enormous than they were then, and we need to bring that scale of thinking to their solution. So, go far, go together. Obviously, lasting environmental protection and conservation requires the complementary strengths of academia, knowledge, governments, policy and funding, and industry, execution and technology. Working together ensures solutions are not only effective, but they're sustainable and become embedded over the long term. For instance, combating desertification requires scientific research to understand soil degradation, government action to implement large-scale afforestation programs, for example, the Saudi Green Initiative, and private sector innovation in water-efficient technologies for needed irrigation. By going together, these stakeholders can tackle the problem comprehensively and sustainably. Collaboration ensures that environmental initiatives benefit from shared knowledge, distributed resources, and diverse perspectives, making it essential for preserving desert ecosystems and addressing broader environmental challenges. I could just finish by saying, as a new president of KAUST again, I've come to a fantastic environment here in the Kingdom where the level of ambition in making a true difference to these crucial areas is absolutely outstanding. Thank you for listening to me.